What we used to call the circuit court, I don't know, it was the GA court back then, but he certainly didn't make a fortune being a state representative, but he certainly has done a wonderful job for the district that he's represented over the years. Nobody has ever questioned his integrity. He was unimpeachable member and head of the Judiciary Committee, and I wish him all the success in his new job. And I'd like to thank him for all the years that he put in for minimal pay with the state legislature. Nobody gets rich being a member of the state legislature. Everybody who is up there works countless hours. Having spent many years in the same office as Marty Looney and listening to his wife talk about him driving home in a somewhat unreliable car under unreliable conditions, under bad weather, I can appreciate what all of them go through. And nobody has been a greater stalwart champion of what's going on this evening than Senator Toni Harp. And she's here again to help us congratulate the people who have been involved in this wonderful work, and I'd ask her to come up.
It is an honor and a privilege to be here this evening as we recognize the work of the Children's Court in New Haven. But beyond that, as we recognize the work of the heroes in our community, the people who give of themselves every day without regard to cost, without regard to time, but with only regard to the love in the heart that they have for children, with their understanding of what it takes to raise a child and their commitment to raising children. So I've been privileged to provide the Extended Family Humanitarian Awards. But I want to say to all of you parents out there, you're all heroes, and we appreciate you. So I'm going to read about the family, and if they'll come forward while I read about the family. The first family are the parents, Robert and Yolanda Torres of West Haven. They have been raising their daughter's child, Ashley Torres, now 14, for the last 5 years, and recently agreed to take in their son's 2 children, as well as their half-siblings of no relation, Clara and Destiny, Torres and Tito, to prevent a foster care placement. Robert and Yolanda are both employed with Edgewater Towers and are a hardworking family. Robert says, Yolanda has been a good wife, and Yolanda says, we are not doing anything out of the ordinary. They love, care, and provide for these children as their own, and they are most deserving of this award. Are they here this evening? Yes. Come forward. The award is for Extended Family Humanitarian Award presented to Robert and Yolanda Torres for being guardian angels, New Haven Probate Court, Kensington, 2011.
I just want to thank everybody. It's been a struggle, but as a loving family that we are, just going to continue on. And I just hope to God that, all the families out there are doing the same, to help the other, kids that are, going through troubles and stuff. All right, thank you very much.
Our next family are Charles Miller Sr. and Brenda Brockenberry. Brenda Brockenberry and Charles Miller, over the last 30 years, have raised 3 children of their own. They then took on guardianship of their grandchild Destiny and her sibling Alexia, who is not related to them, in order for the girls to remain together. Brenda and Charles love these girls and consider these girls to be their own and can't express enough how much joy they bring to them. Brenda works for Resource for Human Development, where she is a residential counselor who cares for young women with a variety of developmental and behavioral health issues. Charles has been a hard worker and was employed at Derby Cellular for 20 years and has been employed at Stop and Shop for the last 10 years. As Brenda states, Charles has been a great provider for his family, doesn't complain, and just does what we ask of him. And without the strength and support of one another, I don't know where we would be. They are most deserving of this award. Could Charles Miller and Brenda Brockenberry please come forward? And Charles Miller Sr. and Brenda Brockenberry are awarded this award for being guardian angels, and we thank you very much.
I'd just like to say thank you very much to everyone here, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Our next couple are Brian and Dina Grabinski. Brian and Dina Grabinski of West Haven raised 3 children of their own and are presently caring for 2 children of no relation to them. Anthony Camara, age 13, and his half-sibling, Kayla Ramos, age 6. Brian and Dina were supposed to care for Anthony on a temporary basis while he attended their daycare. And 11 years later, he still remains with them. Anthony has cerebral palsy and is nonverbal and unable to walk. But on February 1st, 2011, Anthony received hamstring extension surgery and should be up and walking around by the summer of 2011. Dina and her husband Brian love and care for these children immensely. Brian has been a Bridgeport police officer for over 25 years, and Dina provides full-time care to the children. Dina says her mother, Nettie Thomas, who worked in the school system's special needs program for over 30 years, has been her main inspiration and thanks her for her compassionate heart. They are deserving of this award, and if they'll please come forward. This is an award that recognizes Brian and Dina Grabinski for being guardian angels. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you will all agree that the love in this room is overwhelming. People who are being honored tonight are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And, the tribute being given to them is short appreciation for what they have invested in the children that they have brought into their homes. I would ask for additional presentations, Judge Michael Atlas.
One of the main reasons for the success of the Children's Court has been the work of the fine group of attorneys who give their services to the court. I won't say donate, but they work for very modest state-regulated fees. They do things that many attorneys would probably refuse to do because they wouldn't have the time, like making home visits, facilitating contact between parents and children. And they do it because they care. They care about the children, they care about the families. And it's become a tradition at this dinner to recognize each year an attorney who has devoted outstanding service to the cases in our court. A lawyer is sometimes called an attorney and counselor at law. And those are two different roles. The role of the attorney, as I think of it, is to try to get what your client wants, to fight for your client. A counselor, however, more has the job of trying to let your client see and come to a conclusion about what's best for them. And in our case, is what's best for their family, even if it's not necessarily what they thought they wanted when they started. Some attorneys zero in on just the attorney role and just want to go for what their clients want. But in the Children's Court, we need attorneys who do both. And this dual role is especially important when you're representing a child. Sometimes it's like walking a tightrope. The philosophy of our court is to promote consensus solutions to family problems wherever that's possible. And we hope the attorneys we appoint share that philosophy. But they also must be ready to fight as advocates when the situation demands it. Katrina Camera is a master at striking the balance between attorney and counselor. In many of the cases I've sat on where Katrina was one of the attorneys, I braced myself to hear a contested case in a matter that seemed intractable, where the parties were miles apart. Katrina would ask for the famous 5 more minutes to talk to the parties, and more often than not, when everyone filed into the courtroom, she'd announce those famous words that every judge loves to hear in a case like that: "Your Honor, we have an agreement." And then she'd proceed to explain an eminently reasonable, common-sense solution to the problem that the parties faced. She is skilled at working out creative solutions that all parties can agree to. She's forthright with her clients. She gives them a realistic and, if necessary, a brutally honest assessment of the likelihood that they would get everything they wanted if there were a contested hearing. She helps families to see the wisdom of compromising and working together, even grudgingly, for the benefit of the children, instead of having a pitched battle where the adults argue about what they want and lose sight of what's best for the kids. At the same time, when the situation calls for her to dig in her heels and be a staunch advocate, no one does so more firmly or effectively than Katrina. At the Children's Court, we have a special reward for attorneys who handle difficult cases well. We give them even harder ones. Katrina has earned a high place on the list of attorneys whom we know we can assign the most difficult cases with confidence that she will accept them and do the job the way it should be done, as both a wise counselor and a zealous advocate for her client. We thank her for all of her work for children and families. It is my honor to present her with the Distinguished Advocacy Award.
Thank you. I was pretty sure everybody hated me there. However, the one thing that I have learned at the Children's Court, I learned a lot about myself as an attorney, as a mother, as a person. There's so much to be done. There's so much good to be done. And if everybody works together, we can come to a very good answer. And I thank everybody for allowing me the opportunity to work there. Thank you.
Her husband's in the back, she's hiding.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I also have the pleasure and the honor tonight of presenting the Trailblazer Award to Mrs. Leslie Freeman. Those of us who are parents know how much work it is and how much dedication it takes to raise your own children. Many of the guardians who come to our court are doing it a second time for their grandchildren. Leslie Freeman is unique in that she raised her children, she raised many of her grandchildren, and she didn't have enough there. She went on to raise great-grandchildren. She's raised 3 generations of children. She's done it lovingly. She has a kind heart and an open-door policy to all the children in the neighborhood because she didn't limit her love and her caring to those who were related to her by blood. And it says here in her spare time she takes in stray animals. We have a special presentation to her. Rather than me talk about her, one of her grandchildren is a talented singer, Jermaine Gums, and he would like to come forward and sing a song in honor of his grandmother as we present the award to him.
I owe this to my grandmother tremendously. She's done so much for our family. Can't thank her enough, and I'm pretty sure everyone in our family can't thank her enough. But she always encouraged me to sing, and I've gotten my talent from her. And she always loved the way I sing a Stevie Wonder song, which is Ribbon in the Sky. And it's for you, Grandma.
Jermaine, just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Would guide you my way to share with me this special day. There's a ribbon in the sky for our love. If allowed, may I touch your hand, and if please, may I once again show that you too will understand. There's a ribbon in the sky for our love. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Oh, there's a ribbon in the sky for our love. This is not a coincidence, and far more than a lucky chance. But you will understand. There's a ribbon in the sky for our love.
Thank you, Jermaine. That was beautiful. We're quickly making up a plaque now for best presentation speech in the evening. We'll call you back quickly to get it. Leslie Freeman, please come up and receive your award.
I finally get a chance to say the things that I've been wanting to say about the trust fund for so many years, how much of a help it has been for me. My late husband, I have to mention him because he was here up until 2 years ago, and he was here with me. The two of us raised our grandchildren, many of them. We had 5 children of our own, 17 grandchildren, and 9 great-grands. God has blessed us with those, and I thank this program for all the things that I'm sure I will speak the words of so many grandparents here, how much we appreciate all that you've done for us. Thank you so much.
Extraordinary people. Extraordinary people. It's hard to imagine the love that flows from these wonderful caregivers. I'd like to ask Judge Mike Brandt to come up and present some awards.
Good evening. It's my honor to fill in for Representative Walker tonight and say some kind words about 3 very special young women. There are many people in this room who deserve kind words. From Judge Lawler, who presented his wonderful idea to the area judges and made it happen, to the state leaders and community leaders who saw it through, to the judges, the clerks, the probate court officers, the DCF social workers, and all the families, especially the guardians, who have made success stories possible, like the 3 success stories that I will speak about. The first recipient is Tiana LaFrazier for Outstanding Academic Achievement Award. Tiana is a proud twin of her sister Tanasia. She is 16 years old and lives with her grandmother and guardian, Susan LaFrazier. Her grandmother says she simply cannot say enough about how wonderful the twins are. Tiana is a student at Hill House High School and has been an honor student for the last 5 years. Tiana is most deserving of this award. And can I have Tiana come up here now?
I would like to thank everybody first. Judge Keys, Ms. Jones, everyone in the courts that took care of me and my sisters after our mother passed away. You guys really, really mean a lot to me, and you did a lot. I would like to thank my grandmother, my father, my family that stood by me. And my way of giving back is to, keep up my grades and just be successful like everyone in this room. And I thank you all so much.
Tanasia is the twin of Tiana. She is also 16 years old and attends the American School for the Deaf. Susan LaFrazier, the grandmother of Tanasia, says, Tanasia is wonderful and brings her a world of joy. Tanasia plays basketball, soccer, and volleyball. Last year, she was awarded Most Valuable Player in soccer at her school. She was also voted the best all-around dorm student. She's on the honor roll and has been a straight A student for the past 5 years. Tanasia is also most deserving of this award. Unfortunately, Tanasia is unable to attend this year due to a prior basketball tournament in Pittsburgh. Her grandmother, Susan LaFrazier, her guardian, would like to humbly accept this award on her behalf.
On behalf of Tanasia, I'd like to thank you all, Judge Keys, Ms. Jones, and everybody. Thank you.
Tanisha. Yeah, I want to get, a little help would be great, guys.
It's my honor to announce this year's recipient of the Championship Award, Shanice Dinuzzo. Shanice is 17 years old and lives with her proud grandmother, Elizabeth Antrim. They enjoy a positive and very good relationship. She has never given her grandmother any difficulty. They practice giving hugs every day. Shanice is a senior at Career High School and an A student, while also maintaining employment after school at JCPenney's as a retail associate. She's never been in any trouble and attends church with her grandmother on Sundays. Shanice has already made plans to attend Gateway Community College after graduation from high school in June. She is most deserving of recognition as a champion for outstanding performance. Shanice.
I just want to thank everyone in this room for showing up. I want to thank Emma Jones, Tamara, Judge Keys, and I want to give a special thanks to my grandmother for always being there for me and always paving my path for me and being there to help me and guide me through, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. So thank you.
There was an article, I'm not sure whether it was within the last couple of days, and I don't know whether it was Time Magazine or New York Times, saying that the United States of America was becoming a third world country. And they defined a third world country as being a country where the disparity between people who have and the people who have not is so great that there is a greater divide than is acceptable. I wish they were here because there's no divide in this room. This is a room of love and a room of people who want to be together and who have gathered together for at least the last 10 years. And everyone who is sitting here, anyone who has been here before, anybody who has been a recipient, anybody who has participated should feel proud of themselves, and I thank you all for being here.
Good night.